the lonely vampire who loved Halloween. In a secluded part of the ancient forests of Eldermere, nestled between tall, whispering pines and thick, tangled vines, stood a crumbling castle known as Blackthorn Keep. This castle, with its turreted spires and shadowy cloisters, was home to a vampire named Lucian. Centuries had passed since he first roamed the earth, and though he had witnessed countless Halloweens, his heart grew heavier with each passing year. The townsfolk of Eldermere were not fond of the vampire. They feared him, whispered tales of his dark deeds, and warned their children to stay away from the forest. Even on Halloween, the one night when shadows danced and ghosts flitted through the air, they shunned the castle and avoided the path leading to it. To Lucian, this was a bittersweet prison. He adored Halloween for its thrilling magic, the symphony of laughter and screams, and the vibrant colors that painted the world, but each year, he remained an unseen spectator, hidden within his stone walls. On the eve of Halloween, Lucian often watched children with painted faces trick-or-treating as they scurried from house to house, their laughter cascading through the night like music. Just beyond his castle gates, a bonfire illuminated the faces of villagers gathered to celebrate, sharing stories of fear and fantasy. A wistful yearning settled in Lucian's heart, and he longed to join them, to relive the joy he once felt before time darkened his soul. But fate, it seemed, favored his solitude. In his loneliness, Lucian often turned to his only companion, an ancient bat named Edgar, who had weathered the centuries with him, clever and wise. Edgar was more than just a creature of the night, he was a friend who understood Lucian's longing. Do you not see, Lucian? Halloween is for embracing the magic. Why must we hide away? Edgar flitted to and fro, his wings casting shadows on the stone walls. Magic or not, Edgar, the townsfolk will never accept me. I am a relic of their nightmares, Lucian replied, his voice heavy with despair. But Edgar was nothing if not persistent, and this Halloween would be different, he declared. What if you made a disguise? If you can talk to them, you might show them you're more than just a monster. A thought began to unravel in Lucian's mind. What if he could traverse the veil of shadows, if only for one night? With Edgar's help, Lucian crafted a disguise, using a faded cloak adorned with intricate patterns of silver and deep blue, resembling the starlit night. With a mask of gentle enchantment, he softened his features and concealed his fangs, leaving only his bright, longing eyes visible. As dusk fell and the sun dipped below the horizon, Lucian decided to step beyond the castle gates. The scent of bonfire smoke wafted through the air, mingling with the sweet aroma of caramel and pumpkin. His heart raced as he approached the village, the sounds of laughter welcoming him into a world he had long yearned to be a part of. At first, the villagers didn't notice the stranger slipping through the shadows. Children darted around him, laughter ringing in the night as they chased one another. He watched a group of kids swap candy, their faces painted with excitement. Then, he caught the gaze of a girl named Alara, with bright eyes and a crown of golden leaves woven into her hair. Who are you? She asked, curiosity twinkling in her voice. I'm just a traveler, enjoying the night, Lucian replied, giving her a smile that felt unfamiliar after so many years. Alara beamed back at him. Come, join us. We're telling ghost stories by the fire. Caught in a moment of joy he had long forgotten, Lucian hesitated, then nodded, his heart racing. He followed her to the crackling flames where villagers gathered, animated and warm. The stories flowed, tales of wandering spirits, mischievous goblins, and haunting melodies that sent shivers down spines. With every laugh and every gasp at the tales spun around the fire, Lucian felt the grip of loneliness loosening. But as the night wore on, he sensed a flicker of fear from the adults, an underlying tension as they unknowingly judged the newcomer. Perhaps they would see the truth of his presence after all, and the warmth he felt would turn to cold rejection. Then, something remarkable happened. A child, no older than 5, approached him with a half-eaten candy corn, her tiny hands outstretched. Will you tell us a story? She asked with innocent determination, her eyes wide with trust. His heart swelled and the words flowed through him like a long-discarded melody. Once upon a Halloween night, a lonely vampire wandered through the forest. Lucian spun a tale of adventure, of friendship between a kind-hearted vampire and a brave little girl who helped him find joy in the world again. As his story unfolded, he realized the villagers were entranced, their fears dissipating into the night air. They laughed at the misadventures, gasped at the moments of bravery, and cheered for kindness. By the time the final echoes of laughter faded into the darkened woods, Lucian felt as if he had been woven into the very fabric of Halloween's magic. In that place, surrounded by warmth instead of fear, he was no longer just a monster hiding in a castle. He was Lucian, the storyteller, the lonely vampire who had found solace in a world that had forgotten him. As dawn approached and the veil of night began to lift, Lucian made his way back to Blackthorn Keep, but something had shifted within him. On this Halloween, he had embraced joy and laughter, and for the first time in centuries, he did not feel alone. Every year thereafter, Lucian continued to join the village celebrations, sharing stories that transformed them into legends. And though he still carried the weight of his vampire nature, he no longer felt the burden of loneliness. Halloween had become not just a night of fright, but a day of connection, a night where the lonely vampire found his place among the living, one story at a time. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed my story.